Darn, I was trying to time it out right to focus. He has a Doctor Who watch here. Hey gang, what up? All right, so it is the day after Christmas. Thank you all for joining me who are here. We are going to discuss Doctor Who Christmas special right up on here. So for you that didn't watch it, sorry, I'm going to talk about it because it's just not working with me trying to not do spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it real quick. Come back, we'll talk about it. Or we can just spoil it for you. We can do that too. That's totally cool. I'm fine by me. Like you guys do you. But yes, so I had the distinct pleasure of actually watching this live as it happened in England. It was very exciting for me. I got to watch it with two avid Doctor Who fans, which was awesome. One of which, actually both of which Lifetime, but they'd been watching it from the beginning, so from the first Doctor who we got appearances of in this to the newest Doctor. So we got a little bit of everybody. Just sharing this around so everybody can see what we're talking about right now. Post it there, post it here, post it everywhere. Hope you all had an awesome holiday weekend, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. I know it was, for me, lovely and idyllic, and I ate too much food, so hopefully y'all did the same. So, now we got this, sharing it with friends, perfect. Oh, whew, hey Joshua, I'm glad you made it. Oh no, you've been running the computer shop all day. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here to join me to watch some Doctor Who nerdery. So, right away, I'll just start talking about all the things that I really liked about this episode, and you guys chime in as well with everything that you liked as well. Because, of course, I want to hear what you guys thought. If you disagreed, agreed with me, let me know. So, all right, right off the bat, I loved all the ways that they blended the first Doctor and that original footage from, that actually is the only parts that kind of exist anymore of that Doctor, of that whole season, because as you know, not all of the tapes have survived. So it's really cool, and the actor they chose was brilliant. Like, he looks so much like the first Doctor to begin with. And then they did great little lines to kind of help along the fact that it wasn't obviously exactly the same person, because number 12 says, oh, you must be regeneration, your face is all over the place. So kind of all that kind of stuff helps as well. Oh, and like just the little nods to the fact of how different the 12th Doctor was versus the first Doctor, of like the more of the fun stuff, like, oh, you still call it a ship, like that's adorable. And even later on, when he says, because as always, our Doctor always talks about that this Earth is protected, but the first Doctor is like protected by who? By what? So that was a really fun bit too. Oh, what up, Lawrence? Good to see you. Happy Boxing Day, day after Christmas. So there was that I really liked. What else did I really like? Oh, and then what's his face? It plays a war veteran of World War I. We don't know exactly who yet. But when our 12th Doctor Capaldi talks about, I'm guessing you're, World War I and da-da-da, and he's like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, oh no, it's just from your clothing. And he's like, no, I understand all that, but why did you call it World War I? And that's when we had the cute line of him bringing back, or 12th Doctor Capaldi bringing back spoilers. So that was just a fun thing, because he just got a little too excited because he's facing off with his first regeneration. Or actually, no, not even his first regeneration. He's his first face about to regenerate for the first time. So it was fun having him be kind of nervous around him. Like, even when he sees the guitar, like, he tries to pretend it's somebody else's, like it's not his, because he just is like kind of weirdly embarrassed by it. I don't know. Let's see, what else did I like a lot? Oh, of course, when he first starts using the sonic screwdriver, this guy, what? Sorry, I could play with this all day, and that noise is probably gonna drive you crazy. But so Capaldi, while he starts playing with his sonic screwdriver, and he's like, a sonic what now? What does he call an audio screwdriver? That doesn't make any sense. So that was like a fun thing too. Oh, Lawrence mentions, I met him in person. He was nice. I have him directions at, gave him. I was like, I have him? You have him? You're so lucky. Yeah, Capaldi seems super duper nice. So good on you, Lawrence, for being able to meet him at San Diego Comic-Con. That is a feat most people would like to have had. That's amazing. Let's see. Okay, so, and it was interesting too, because of course we get brought to this new, what we think is an alien race. We get literally picked up into the ship, and when I first look around, there's all the different, like, holes that have all the different people in it. You're not sure what it is yet. My first instinct was like, is this the Hall of Faces? Like, is me gonna show up again and she's actually just been in Game of Thrones this whole time? Like, that's, we're just gonna have a sweet crossover? No? Okay. Maybe that was just me. I don't know. And it was, so one thing that I'm glad they didn't fall into, one trap, is making the first Doctor just an idiot compared to the 12th Doctor. Because there's this great point where Capaldi, he has his sonic screwdriver, he has his sonic sunglasses, and he's looking at all the tech and looking at the kind of glass-looking woman, and he's trying to, like, spew out all these facts, and number one is like, just stop with all that. Would you just look at her? Like, she's not a computer, like, she has to be real somehow because she's slightly asymmetrical, and a computer wouldn't do that. So I thought that was a really cool way to make it so he's not always just such a bumbling idiot. Oh, hey, Brandon. Hi. Ahmed, hey, you made it. Awesome. Oh, okay. Oh, Lawrence, yeah, you have to mention which Doctor. If I'm talking about Capaldi, I don't know that you're talking about William Hartnell. I mean, there's so many to choose from. Gosh. Hello. All right, so, there's also, okay, another part that I really like, sorry, I'm trying to, like, go through in order in the episode, and, like, you guys cue in for any things that you loved about this episode. So I liked kind of Capaldi's last stand type of thing, of him being like, I'm not talking about his monologue at the end, I'm talking about after our Bill copy is like, you do what you always do, like, you save the day. And he's like, that's right, I saved the day. And I think it was the first Doctor asked, like, what are you doing? Who are you? Like, I'm the Doctor. And he does this great, like, dramatic pose. It's just, I don't know what, but it was fun, and it also, like, kind of harkened back to more of the fun-loving and, like, he's just going to take care of everything, it's going to be fine type of way. Let's see, what else did I really like? I loved all the stuff with the original TARDIS. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I loved, the fact that the first Doctor was so miffed that the new TARDIS is just a mess, and it's bigger, and it doesn't need to be bigger, and what's wrong with this lighting? It's atmospheric, that's stupid, like, all that kind of stuff was super fun, but the way that they did the interior of the first TARDIS was perfect. They didn't try to update it, they didn't do anything, like, they left it the original way. I feel like, while we're watching it, we're discussing it, almost looked like sepia tone, like, once they actually, because obviously they're not going to do it in black and white, but when we switch into the first TARDIS, it becomes like an old picture, and it looked, and even had, like, the sound effects. They did a lot of sound cues from most all of the Doctors. One of my favorite is that, like, kind of high, like, it almost sounds like a woman just singing and humming, which the first time we saw that was in Eccleston, when anytime Bad Wolf was mentioned. So that's one of my favorite Doctor Who, like, sound clips, and they used it a couple times, but they also did some sound clips from the original, like, classic Who. They brought in some stuff from Matt Smith's, like, sound bites, so they played a lot with sound with that, which I really liked. Oh, hey, Brandon, where's our C or Boss Level 8? This is my own little thing right now, but we have one more video that I did with them that we're going to drop soon with Boss Level 8, so I'm not going to say anything else about it, but it's me getting quite heated about a certain franchise movie, so just wait for that. I think we're going to be announcing it in, like, the next week or two, but yeah, so that was fun. Thanks. Good to see you, Brandon. Let's see, what else did I love? Oh, I loved their use of the sunglasses, the sonic sunglasses, because there's a point that Capaldi puts it on the first Doctor. The first Doctor is just like, why am I wearing these? He's like, because I love it. You need to wear these always. And then when he asks about what's browser history, and then he just knocks it off his face, like, nope, never mind. Taking that away. That was pretty great. I like how they dealt with the Doctor being from the first Doctor being from the 60s, and obviously a little bit more sexist. Like, he keeps bringing up the fact that Polly must not be here anymore because the TARDIS needs a good cleaning. And it's just like, no, stop saying that ever again. And he's like, why? Because it's a bad idea, just don't, it's terrible to say, and everybody's gonna hate you that you travel with from now on. So it's great. oh, that's right, Brandon. Yeah, they should be in this chat, those guys. They're probably doing like some cool stuff themselves. They're always filming stuff. I'll forgive a ditch one time. But yeah, so there was that, and then even when he first meets, the first Doctor meets Bill, and he's just like, oh, like, yes, he's missed you very much. That TARDIS needs a cleaning. And again, the 12th Doctor, Capaldi's like, no, stop. Don't speak anymore. Look at that. What's that over there? Just stop. And it got brought up again when they talk about how beautiful that the alien woman or whatever, they're not sure what it is, how she looks. And, you know, Bill, in proper Bill fashion, is like, well, yeah, if you like, you know, your lady's made of glass. And then the first Doctor is, oh, well, aren't all women made of glass? Oh. And she's just like, I'm sorry, what? We're made of, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I hope it doesn't offend you to let you know that I've had dalliances with the fairer sex. And that's when she can just drop the bomb of, so have I. And it's just like, what? It was a fun line. I totally killed it. It's better if you watched it. I just ruined it. But, you know, when you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It's good. Yes. All right. What else did I love? Oh no, that's what I didn't like. Okay, so if I've missed anything that you guys really liked about this episode, throw it down here, because I'm about to go into what I didn't like. Or I'll start a little lighter. I'll go with I wish they kind of changed, or I wish they could have fixed it. Okay, the first thing, and this is so nitpicky, but I thought it would be much cooler, is if when we had the theme song for the first time, if it was blended with the first Doctor's theme song and the 12th, like it's some kind of blending, but, you know, I'm sure BBC doesn't have the time or energy or finances for that, but I would have liked that very much. Ahmad says he does not know much about Doctor Who, but I watched a trailer for him versus an army of Cybermen. Yeah, that was a very good episode. Honestly, this is a great time for you to start. We're about to have a whole new showrunner, a whole new Doctor, so if you start now, which unfortunately we're not going to see any new episodes for like 9 months, so this gives you the time to binge watch everything else. Yeah, Brandon, I liked it. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. So the first time I watched it, I liked it a lot more, but it just kind of felt, I was okay with it. It didn't feel like a lot was really amazing happened. But then a second time, this is when I started noticing all the things I didn't quite like. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go right into the stuff I didn't like. So, just stupid thing where, like, I liked the fact that her face was based off of the original human, but then her body was this crazy, like, out of proportion Barbie portioned, like, alien thing. Which that was a bit weird to me. I didn't really like that. Just the whole episode, I hope that they put out an article about it or really describe like what they were going for, because they definitely filmed it a lot differently than any of the other Capaldi episodes. Like the lighting was super weird, and I don't mean in a good way. Like it was really dramatic and it was just really off, a lot of it. The framing, like everybody was framed very odd, and the editing, it kind of felt like they were going for a more like classic Who feel, but I feel like they didn't make that clear. Like the best way to make that clear is anytime that like the first Doctor is on screen, have it be, or like we're on that TARDIS, his TARDIS, like make it so it's that way, and then, but if we're with Capaldi or if we're on Capaldi's TARDIS, it's just cleaner. I feel like by the end of it, like the last scene, his last stand monologue, that would have been good, but I feel like they missed that. Yes, Ahmad, I like it. Watch it. It's good. What else was it? Alright, and this is the big spoiler, guys, so if you haven't watched it, just don't listen, just stop. Don't, because I'm gonna give the spoiler away. But, alright, so the last scene, right? The whole thing is that this alien, not even alien race, just us in the future, we freeze time to then, and we created this, basically this program that freezes time when people are right before they die, and they download all their memories and then put them right back into time, and they remove all the memories of them having that done to them and then go off. right? So they had frozen time, and because the two doctors met, it messed everything up. There was a, you know, what do they call in Doctor Who? I don't remember. But they mess up the timeline enough that he gets tossed out, and so we have this general. Now, when they put him back, they did... He says that he moved it 3 hours forward so that it would be Christmas, right? But it shows that everybody is frozen at the same time. So it shouldn't have changed anything, because even if he could change the timeline of the entire world, time was still frozen. So when they dropped him off, all the people around would still think it was 3 hours before. So it still wouldn't be Christmas, and they wouldn't start singing Christmas carols. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but it's really frustrating for me. Somebody else can word it better, but like, this is the one time that the timey-wimey wibbly wobbly doesn't work. Like, you can't just say, because it goes against everything you just set up, like the entire episode. Like, and the same thing with Bill. The character Bill can't seem to decide if she really is Bill or she isn't Bill, because anytime she's talking to a doctor, she tries to convince that she's Bill, and then a second later be like, well, I'm just the memories downloaded into this thing, and I'm actually a part of this thing now. No, but I am Bill. And it's like, no, but Bill would have told him to begin with that that's just another really frustrating part for me. I feel like, was there one thing that I missed that I did like? But I liked it. It's just, I feel, I love Moffat. Do not get me wrong. I loved Moffat for the first couple seasons of Matt Smith. I love Moffat for the first couple seasons of Sherlock. But after a while, I feel like he gets super cocky, and then he decides that he can change everything for Doctor Who and for Sherlock. And I felt like this episode wasn't a proper goodbye for Capaldi. It was a proper goodbye for Moffat. And I really wanted for Capaldi, because I love Capaldi. And I just saw Gary's comment, Moffat logic. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Brandon pitched in, if it wasn't time that was frozen. Yeah, if it wasn't time that was frozen, or if it was just the two that were in the, like, actual, like, little, the ditch there it was just the two of them that time was frozen, and that everybody else, like, time passed, so that's why it became Christmas for them, that would make sense, but if he froze time for everything, it doesn't make sense that they would think it was Christmas 3 hours later, because time has not passed from them. That's what frozen time means. It's very upsetting for me. But, yeah, and like that last whole monologue, I feel like the monologue wasn't saying goodbye to Moffat. I feel like I'm sorry, the last monologue wasn't Capaldi saying goodbye. I feel like it was Moffat just straight up saying goodbye through Peter Capaldi, because at least with Matt Smith, his ending line of, I will always miss when the doctor was me, like, yeah, that was fairly meta, but not as aggressive of, like, I'm going to let go of the doctor. How can you let go of yourself? That doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Honestly, there's a lot of fun in this episode. I loved it. There was just a lot that I was missing, that I wanted just a little more explanation, or just maybe a little less explanation, actually, to be frank. Like, I don't need to know why the first Doctor stole the TARDIS and what he was running to, because now Moffat has put that stamp of, like, this is my Doctor, like, this is from all time, from now on, like, I'm the one who answered the questions, and it's like, I didn't want you to. I didn't want you to answer those questions. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I will always remember when the doctor was me. Thank you, Gary. You're always there to get me right when it comes to the quotes. But yeah, I don't know how you all felt about it. I see that Leslie just joined. Leslie, what did you think about this episode? I'm just really curious, because I liked it more when I first watched it, and again, that might have been the excitement of Christmas Day, sitting with a bunch of, like, awesome people watching it and just enjoying it, or if it wasn't a good episode and like after seeing it a second time, I kind of found all the nitpicky, or maybe I'm just being nitpicky. Maybe I just need to just enjoy Doctor Who for what it is, because I am so excited for her to take over. I'm super stoked. I don't know what to expect. I like how they ended it with it being blown up and she's falling from it. I'm assuming the TARDIS is going to fix itself and then catch her. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. This was not a very, I don't think this was a very good Christmas episode, and I don't think it was a very good farewell to Capaldi, because to me, I love Capaldi's Doctor. I love him. I feel that the writing for while he was the Doctor wasn't great. I feel like he didn't get the right companion until Bill, and then it was like his time was up. And I really wish we had more time with Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, and maybe just with a different showrunner. You know, maybe if we had a different showrunner when Capaldi started, we wouldn't have had to hold on to Clara for as long, because Clara was definitely not the right companion for Capaldi at all. I feel like it should have been like a similar character to Bill, if not Bill, right out the gate. So, oh, Brandon asks, how long do you think she'll stick around? That's a really good question. I hope we get her for many seasons. Like, I'm hoping that they really give her time as a Doctor. I'm hoping for 4. That's my final vote, because I mean we only had it's weird, we've had such a wide breadth of seasoned Doctors, right? Because Eccleston was 1 season, and then how many was Tennant? Was it like 5? It was a lot. Ooh, John, thank you for asking. And of course, everybody else, who your favorite Doctor was of all time. My favorite Doctor, and I will admit that I've not watched enough classic Who to really get to know any of the classic Doctors, but of the new Who Doctors, my favorite Doctor is Tennant. And what's funny is that I was such a huge fan of Eccleston that when it switched to Tennant, I was like, I don't know about this guy. He's just, and then he got all flirty in the first episode. I was like, wait, let me see. Okay, maybe he's okay, maybe. So for me, it's David Tennant is my number 1. Love him, he's the best. Do you think anyone will ever come close to Tom Baker for length? I don't think so. I think because we're of a time that everything needs to go a lot faster, and Doctor Who isn't coming out fast enough for a lot of, especially like now we have so much more of an American audience than we did back in Tom Baker's time. I don't think we're gonna have anybody last for that many seasons, unfortunately. I think it's because if anybody would have done that, it would have been probably Matt Smith, because that's when it became like the most popular and had the most money behind it. So that's my opinion though. Who knows? I hope I'm wrong, because it would be fun to see like how long one actor could hold, you know, the Doctor and kind of keep it going from that. Oh, there's Nesbitt's Tedbits. Sup, Leslie? You've here just at the end. So you need to say who you, so A, Leslie. So this is my other Doctor Who fan. This is, so I don't know if you can see my little Doctor Who necklace, but it's half a TARDIS with a heart. And the other person that has the other half of it is Leslie. Hi, Leslie. So we're big Doctor Who fans. So Leslie, did you love the Christmas special? And who is your favorite Doctor? Yeah. Oh, and John mentioned David Tennant's last line, which is, I don't want to go. And that's another thing about this episode, right? Because David Tennant's, like, I don't want to go is one of the best regenerations ever. And that he's actually the one who started the saying goodbye to each of his companions, he did it by going back in the TARDIS and all that kind of stuff. But it was such a strong and sweet and sad and and you knew that he had to change. Like, that's just part of the rules, and that's part of the Time Lord curse, is that when your time comes, you have to kind of give up your face and give yourself up to a new regeneration. And the way that they were writing Capaldi's Doctor to say, like, well, I'm just gonna let myself die because I could do that. It's like, well, that's not fair. Like, that's not fun. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me. I didn't really like that they did that, personally. All right, so Leslie's got a lot to say. She says, A, love the Christmas special. I cried so much. Love the banter between the two and the horror of 12 at the old school ideas of 1. Yeah, Yeah, we discussed that earlier. It's pretty great. And let's not forget the amazing line of, because I don't remember, oh, that's what it was. Bill was calling Capaldi an ass. And like, no, you're an ass. And then all of a sudden one comes out and is like, young lady, if I hear any more of that language to you, oh, what is, he said something about a spank bottom. What was the action? I think I wrote it down though, what the line was. Oh no, I really hope I wrote it down because it made me laugh super hard. No, I guess I didn't write it down. Shoot. But yeah, I said something about... Oh. Yeah. Darn. I didn't write it down, but it's pretty great. He basically threatened her with a spanking, and it was hilarious. All right, and then what else did... Okay, so Leslie now says B. I would say David Tennant, but I'm so in love with Capaldi. Thank you, Leslie. I completely agree. I loved Capaldi's grumpy old man character because of the New Who. We've had 3 doctors in a row being like very handsome and very romantic. And like, that's fun for all the fangirls. But what I wanted was like the doctor back and like... And I love that he was grouchy, he didn't like hugs, and also he wasn't necessarily kind. And that's another thing that kind of I didn't like about his closing speech, is he wasn't really talking about himself. He was obviously, I don't know what he was doing, like, it was an ode to Moffat is what it was. It wasn't necessarily to Capaldi's character. But other than that, there was some great lines in that speech. Hatred is foolish and love is always wise, or something like that. It was there's a few good lines in there, but a lot of it I didn't like as much. I mean, I love the whole thing together. I agree with you, Leslie. Yes, 2 grumpy old doctors. So, and I don't know if you guys have any speculation on what type of doctor she's going to be. Like, I'm really stoked because the last couple have had all of the doctors have had such definitive personalities of a doctor that and each one has been completely new. So I'm really excited to see like who she is and how she's going to deal with stuff. We've already seen that she has 3, 4 companions. Like, she has a lot of companions, and one of which is actually going to be older. The actor is going to be older than the actor that's playing the doctor. So that's going to be really interesting. I can't wait. So I hope you guys liked Doctor Who, this last Doctor Who episode. Comment below if I missed anything else about the Christmas episode. And I will see you again next week, same bat time, same bat channel for Ruse Day Tuesday. And don't forget, it's now Weekend Rager has been switched to Saturdays at 3 p.m. PT. So do not miss out on that. It's going to be super fun. And again, miss you all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Wait, hold on.